What's up, everybody? It's Kat. Today we are on a very special bike, the Ducati Panigale 959 Corse Edition. So I've ridden this bike for a little while. Okay, we'll get to the review, but first we need to take a second to appreciate the sexiness of this bike. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that bike porn as much as I did, but I am just so excited to be on this bike. Multiple reasons. First reason is it's a Ducati, and I am not experienced with Ducatis whatsoever. That is my bike right there. Alex is riding it, the BMW S1000RR. That is normally what I ride. So Ducati is a whole nother realm for me. I still don't know much about them. I don't know the difference between the models so much. I haven't really ever paid attention to them just because I knew, hey, I can't afford that bike, but they're cool looking. John, my boy, came through. So right on John on Instagram and YouTube. Give him a follow. He's awesome. Basically asked him if I could review the bike. I'm like, hey man, can I just like borrow it for like an hour? And he's like, oh yeah, just give it back in like a couple days. Like, what? Okay, perfect. So today we're riding this bike. Thank you to John so much. It's not every day that somebody just lends you their Panigale for 3 days. So here we are. I have ridden it for a little while. So far, the things that I have noticed. It's very rumbly. Very rumbly. The seat is very hard. My butt hurts, and I've ridden it for maybe a couple, not even an hour and a half. And my butt is already sore. The suspension is obviously stiff as hell. John uses this as his track bike, so it's not very street friendly. If I could take this thing on the track, that would be amazing. The one thing that I love about the Ducati coming into a corner and going through the corner is like once it's in a line, that Ducati is not coming out of that line. There is nothing fighting you. Once you're in it, it's just like it guides you right through. It's pretty amazing. But Alex and I were doing some research on this bike when we had breakfast because, like I said, I'm very unfamiliar with Ducatis and I'm playing catch up as far as knowledge about these bikes. So apparently there's a 959, just like standard edition or whatever. And then there's the 959 Corse edition that has all the Öhlins. So it has a Öhlins dampener, Öhlins shock, Öhlins forks, and then it's lighter than the actual 959. What other things? I can't remember. If you guys, seriously, feel free in the comments to drop your Ducati knowledge, because like I said, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about this bike, because I really do not. All I know about Ducatis is that they are a huge status in the sport bike community. If you have a Ducati, people already label you as rich and you have money. I just get to trick everybody. Okay. Sorry, I really hate vlogging on the freeway. I feel like I have to scream. The first like initial reaction I had when riding this is just like, this is way too pretty to ride. I don't know, it's like a vase. It's like you just want to like keep it in your house as like a trophy, and it just looks so beautiful. But no, it's actually a racing machine. It just feels very track oriented. Everything about this bike just feels like it was meant to be on the track. I feel like the Ducatis are phenomenal track bikes, but on the street they're just not as comfortable and not, I don't know, it's not like you can just ride this for 3 hours and you're great. Like I've ridden this for, like I said, a couple hours and my ass hurts straight up. Like I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything, like my butt hurts. Like the seat is hard. John is pretty much, I think, has kept this thing pretty stock. I don't think he's done much to it except for some cosmetic things like the mirrors. Ooh, that's a pretty Corvette. We got love on the Beamer today. He likes it. He likes it. It's a pasta power. Let's talk about the power actually on the Panigale. So I know everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, try the 1299. I'm saving that one for last, guys. Come on, you think I'm gonna just straight out the gate get the 12.99. No, I gotta build my way up to it. Positive power is pretty good on this thing. It's fast, it's torquey. The top end kind of falls off, but I guess that's just the thing with these 959s. Another thing that I absolutely love about this bike is how thin the tank is by your thighs. Like your inner thighs can like, they're not very far apart, right? So it really reminds me of like the Triumph Daytona, where it's really thin and slender and it's really easy to toss around. It feels like a 600. Like this bike doesn't feel like a close to 1,000cc bike. This feels like a smaller bike, which I really love too. Another awesome thing about this motorcycle is that I can actually put my feet down properly. Like I have like my whole bottom of my foot pretty much. I know it looks like I'm tiptoeing. I mean, I'm still tiptoeing, but I can get like the ball of my foot down on the pavement, which is pretty freaking amazing. So I was really nervous that the Ducati was gonna be really tall for me, but it was the opposite. It's better than my bike. My bike is taller than this. So I'm just like, oh my God, this is nice. But as you can see, all the falls and the trees are all pretty now, and oh God. Every bump I'm pretty scared to approach on this bike. I pretty much just ride it like a dirt bike half the time. Just raise my legs up so I don't have to sit on this bike while it's just like blah, 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 just rumbling everywhere. This bike turns heads like crazy. It doesn't matter if you hate motorcycles or not, you're gonna look at this machine and be like, God damn, that is a sexy bike. What's deceiving as well is how amazing and sexy this bike looks and how rugged and rough the ride is. Like, oh my gosh, it is like, you feel everything on this bike. Everybody turning their heads for Lola too. Lola like, ooh, I'm sexy too. Don't forget about me. The exhaust on this bike, actually, the actual pipe of the exhaust runs kind of under the seat in this like U shape. It has a heat shield, but oh my God. This bike runs hot. Notice that the power isn't like super abrupt. I don't know. I felt like maybe it was going to be a little more torquey, but it's not. It's actually, the power delivery is extremely like gradual. I don't know how else to say it, but it's not like yank your head back, crazy torque. It's more of like a gradually gonna break your neck instead of just snap it off kind of thing. Such horrible references, but you know what? I have no idea. I always explain things in the weirdest frickin' ways, but that's why you're watching this review, aren't you? I mean, at least in the winter, this would keep you warm, though. I can't believe how loud this bike is with a stock exhaust, though. It's pretty wild. Woo! Damn. I figured out this bike doesn't like to go slow. This bike likes to go fast. And it likes to turn when it's going fast. The end. God, I love this bike. It's really awesome. We're going to do our final review right now. 2019 959 Panigale Corse Edition. 3 pros first. I love the way it looks. It is a sexy bike. I mean, you can't beat it. It just grabs attention everywhere. I mean, people, every time we park, somebody says something about it, and it breaks necks, turns heads. So the aesthetic is something I really love. I also love the way it feels during turns, which I'm assuming has to do with all of the crazy Olin suspension that's on it. I can't put words into how it feels when you're going through a turn on this bike. Whenever you pick a line, it just lets you go in that line, and it doesn't let you go anywhere else. And that is so freaking amazing. Would be amazing on the track. I wish I could take this on the track so bad. Third thing that I really like about this bike, the sound of the V-twin engine. I love that it's so loud, straight out the box. Like, this is a stock exhaust. This has never been touched. And I feel like that's what this bike offers to you. Straight out of the crate. It's just ready to go on the track. It's badass. It's beautiful. That's everything. I love the vroom vroom noises. I love the way it looks, and I love the way it feels. It's just a really great bike. Things that I don't like. It's not very comfortable to ride on the street. My butt hurts. The seat is really hard. It's not a very comfortable bike. I don't like how freaking hot it is too. It runs so hot. It's like you're on a freaking stove. Like you're sitting on a stove. I guess my third complaint would be, which is another street versus track thing, is just like the rawness of it, which I'm gonna get so much hate. Oh my god, whatever. I ride on the street most of the time, 99.9% of the time, and you know, it's hard when you're riding on the street and you're just constantly being jolted around. You can feel everything on this bike. It's brutal. Like it's a beast. It's like it has some grit to it. I don't know how else to explain it, but overall, love this bike. I really do. I've been enjoying myself. All I want to do is take pictures of it because it's so gorgeous. It's just so pretty. The satin finish on this just gives it some sort of like little glow, and I'm just like, oh my god, I love it so much. So thank you so much for coming with me on this journey with the Ducati, my second Ducati I've ever ridden. John, thank you again for being such a badass and letting me take this for a couple days. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below which bike you would like to see next on the channel. And thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and being a part of the cat fam. And I'll catch you guys next time.